Hey everyone. Some people say I'm good at technology. I'm not sure. Hopefully I can figure out how this button thing works. Some people know me, for starting Metamask, which is a cool thing. I also had a villa, basically, where we had a lot of artists and technology people living together, working on like Ethereum and games and programming the future of art and music, called the Meta Villa for about 5 years in Silicon Valley. And in fact, some of the people who were there were like yoga teachers who were teaching the executives at Facebook how to do complicated yoga postures. So it's even possible that the reason it's now called Meta is because of my little Meta Villa. So I'm a pretty meta guy. Sometimes I get some idea, it sparks an idea. One of those ideas was, hey, let's put Ethereum in the browser. And then that became a pretty big thing. But then recently I was just thinking, what could you really do to take Metaverse to the next level? I wanted to give everyone the ability basically to have their own Metaverse, because I think Metaverse is a very cool thing. And I think it's a way of you can have your own personality and expand and express yourself, kind of like the future of fashion, but instead of just being something you wear, something that other people can come and interact with. And I wanted people to have the tools to be able to build them. So I'm going to basically give you a sneak peek basically into the Metaverse, which is something's pretty new actually. This product came out last week, and you see basically on Monday it came out, and these are these little ships. Actually, we just went on sale on OpenSea, these little ships. So you can sail around. I think we have some meta ship holders actually here in the crowd somewhere. How do you get your own? Well, here's an interesting thing. Basically, this is a fractal temple that is going to Burning Man. Who has been to Burning Man? Anyone? Oh, one person. Okay, great. Maybe two. Who's heard of Burning Man? Oh yeah, all right, great. So Burning Man is this big place where people burn things in the desert and have a lot of fun and dance around and go crazy and build things. And I happen to have built a few things for Burning Man, like this big pyramid that goes there every year. And this year we're actually building this super cool 45 meter diameter fractal amphitheater called Catharsis. It's an embodiment of hyperbolic space. So I don't know if there's any math, physics people out there, but basically we're taking crazy algorithms that exist in the outer world, and we're basically bringing them into the physical reality through the metaverse. So it's kind of this interesting fusion of physical space, virtual space, and then the potential that you're basically creating portal into other worlds. The way that this works in our kind of platform is basically everything's in a cube, because if you know Euclidean geometry, whatever, you don't even know very much about it, you know that you can make a cube, you can divide things into cubes, and then basically space divides into cubes. What you might not have known as well is that once you divide space into cubes, you can go inside that cube and subdivide it into more cubes, and then you have cubes inside of cubes. And then if you have a cube inside of a cube, you can also put a cube inside of that cube, and then inside that cube, you can make a cube, a cube, a cube, a cube. So you can do that. And not only that, you can make an NFT out of it, actually. Not only that, you can take the NFT and then wrap a DAO around it, so then the people who own the NFT can control what happens in the future of that metaverse. So we have a bunch of things that are in motion, effectively, and they involve things like building your own city, dividing it, having this, I think, as some DAO makers maybe purchase a city or something. So basically, it's a city, it's floating in space, you can fly around, and you can basically subdivide the land. And once you get inside of it, there's pretty high level of interactivity. Now, one of the things that we also start to do, this is all voxel art stuff. I mean, I'm kind of into voxel art personally, but I like other types of art as well. And one of the cool things that I like about this type of thing is I don't know. It's kind of a gamer thing, I guess. I'm kind of a gamer, to be honest. But like the gamer thing is like having cool puzzles, basically. Like you explore things, you maybe blow things up sometimes. You have interesting quests. So inside of some of these metaverses, basically, there are hidden other metaverses that you can go inside and explore, and you can unlock and solve puzzles. And in fact, we didn't officially announce it yet, so I can't just officially say it, but I'll unofficially say it, that we're using this protocol and language and stuff that we built to basically do a cross-metaverse scavenger hunt. So basically, you go into one metaverse, you find a secret area, you solve the puzzle, you get a key, then you can go into a different metaverse, open it up, solve a puzzle, go in, this kind of thing. So it starts to get pretty interesting, and for me, as someone who just likes games, it's like kind of fun. So I don't know, that's part of what motivates me. We also have some games, basically, that have already been implemented in some of these metaverses, so you can run around and collect coins and, basically get upgrades. Part of the whole idea behind doing this was to allow people to basically merge, like, Minecraft and Roblox style, like, gaming for, kids and things like that, but with, like, the idea of individual ownership and NFT and basically having this layer. So you have a land layer, you own the land, people can build games, they can deploy them on your land. So we have a bunch of games that have already been built, mostly in kind of fairly, interactive, or like going around collecting these coins, upgrading your meta ship. Again, I think I said it already, but maybe I'll say it again. You can get these meta ships now on OpenSea. They're available, and you need one to play. So don't just walk around the metaverse. You probably want to fly. And there's a few different varieties. We have one of the ones that kind of got it all started was the Mars metaverse. And I don't really know, to be perfectly honest, like how we got going with Mars. I think some guy had a friend who worked for NASA, and they said, why don't we actually build, a whole Mars thing? Oops, we got ahead of ourselves. And why don't we go around and explore Mars? We'll see more Mars in a little bit. And we could actually simulate the future of Mars colonies. Why don't we actually build the simulations on Mars with Mars things? So now we have, and when we had the other architect who was actually already procedurally generating, furniture, basically 3D printing furniture. He's like, why don't we get an NFT of the procedurally generated furniture, and then basically you can use it to populate your land on Mars. So we already have 50 different, I think, Mars colonies going at the moment. See more of that. This is a Discoverse. Totally interactive. I don't know. Sometimes I don't really know. Sometimes we have a lot of things. People come to us and say, oh, I want a metaverse. Can we do this? Can we do that? And we try and import other things. Other times, my team, I don't really know what they're doing. Basically, I leave them alone for a couple days, and I'm off at some conference like now, and I come back, and they're like, oh, look what we did. We built this Discoverse. It's got some flying balls. You go around, and some sub-land, and you go around. It's pretty cool. I was like, oh, yeah, I like this. So, and then when you go inside, like I said, there's different metaverses inside of it, and you can go around and basically have some pretty cool, kind of trippy experiences as you fly around. Now, I will note one other thing here. It says here the Descartes per second. This is the speed that this metaship goes at. So everything has a speed, and it's also kind of crazy idea of space, right? So it's a cube inside a cube inside a cube. Each thing is measured in meters, but not like meters like in this world, but meters in the metaverse. So we had to create our own system for that. And the one that is the most common is the Descartes Meter, named after the philosopher. And then we also have the Wolfram Meter, and that's partially because we're doing some collaborations with the Wolfram Institute, and Stephen Wolfram came up with this cool idea basically about the fundamental idea behind physics and modeling alternative physics environments, including variations on Euclidean geometry and stuff like that. So we have a lot of physics people who are currently working with us to design some pretty cool stuff that no one's ever done before. So yeah, flying around. You can see these are like sub-metaverses, so it's like the kind of thing that I was saying before, is once you have a space, and basically any of you could build a space, so you could say I want a Venus, or planet, or a city, or a whole universe, or whatever. We try and accommodate that. Obviously, we have now a little bit of a queue, but when someone has a cool idea, and even better if you have a budget, because you want to buy it or something, then we can make it happen. We can also import whatever kind of assets. We support kind of almost all standard 3D assets at this point. So you just import them, and then you have your own metaverse, and you can experience it. So this is one of these coin collection games again. And then, let's see, flying around. Here's another cool one. Basically, one of the things that you can do with this Wolfram language is pretty cool, because Stephen Wolfram's been working on Mathematica, all this kind of stuff he built. But basically, there's a lot of cool, funky math things you can do with maths, with polyhedrons and stuff like that. And there's a whole idea of well, hey, we could procedurally, it's are we living in a simulation? We can procedurally generate the whole world, maybe. So, but at the very least, we can start off with some complex polygons and start populating the environments. And there's also kind of a nice thing about that too, is when you're procedurally generating something in the client, it actually solves some problems from a kind of rendering speed and other things like that. So there's some kind of core innovations basically around the rendering engines. I don't know, I'm really into crystals. I don't know why, I just like them. They're kind of cool. They vibrate or something like that, look cool. So we're starting this Crystalverse at the moment. Crystalverse, we're actually launching next weekend in Miami. So if anyone is going from here to Miami, make sure you tell me, because I'll invite you to the Crystalverse party. But basically, people are coming in, and there's all these apps now. You can just 3D scan things. It's pretty cool. And people 3D scan their crystals, upload them into the metaverse, and then it becomes an NFT, and then you can sell it to someone, and then we'll do a revenue split with you. So kind of simple, but cool. And hey, build your own 3D crystal collection. Yeah, we have some other planets. I don't know. I never really know what's happening around. There's always some new hidden metaverse, a secret metaverse exploring. I've got some stage experience. I have a few DJs show up and start doing sets inside the metaverse. It's pretty cool. It's pretty easy actually to do that, because you basically just stream the audio through it, but you get some cool visual backdrops and add something to the overall experience. It makes it more interactive. That's our logo, the Metametaverse, cube inside of a cube, in case you were wondering. More exploration. This is Dubai. This is kind of actually my background research was in smart city stuff, because I got bored of crypto for a little while, and I was oh, what about simulating the future of a city and how it evolves and all the data behind it? And yeah, you can do that actually if you have the data and you know what you're doing. Most people don't. That's why most cities aren't really that smart. But if you did, then you could basically take the data and then use it to plot how the city is going to evolve, the future of the traffic patterns, the future of the happiness of the citizens, the future of various other aspects. And so we kind of did that for Dubai. We basically imported all of Dubai, and we got a mandate a little bit from the government or some people in Dubai and stuff like that, and they said, hey, show us what Dubai could be like in 20 years or something. And you can actually create some interesting incentives to basically do stuff different from what people are doing today. In Dubai, we built in flying car traffic patterns. So there's a simulation of what flying car traffic looks like, and you can also get inside a flying car and fly it around. This is, again, one of these coin metaverses, but you can see the kind of concept of portals and hopping around. Basically, within the Metametaverse, it starts off kind of everything is fairly clear, you're used to, but then once you get to the hidden and sub-metaverses and things like that, it tends to get a little more, I don't know, weird, let's say, a little more interesting portals and, hidden games and things like that. General concept here basically is we have a two-token model. Basically, one token that is a listed public tradable token that hopefully you'll get access to is called the Vox token. It's the governance token. You get to control the treasury of the worlds and land supply, all that. And then we have this inner currency. can't really see super well in this picture, but basically you go around, you get coins, and then basically every metaverse is generating coins. You can win them and play them and get games and stuff like that. And then it also is what allows you to purchase upgrades to your ship and nitros and be able to go super fast and all that. Kind of interesting thing you can do if you buy a city. I don't know, maybe someone wants to like do Belgrade while I'm here. I'm happy to do Belgrade. But like in Dubai, which was the first one we did, we had real estate developers come to us and say, hey, I want to own my land that I own in the real world in the metaverse and develop and create some experiences around it. Like, some guy here that kind of like friend of a friend really likes Egyptian stuff, so he keeps building like obelisks and pyramids and stuff like that, which we thought was kind of cool. Another concept that basically people came to us in Dubai, because we were kind of in Dubai when we started this, is like private members clubs. Because people were like, hey, we have a cool members club, it's a little bit exclusive, whatever, but we want to basically create a metaverse for our members club. People can like come inside of it, and then the members can have access, basically, and then they can potentially meet people who are in other members clubs in the metaverse, and then also do metaverse deals. So if you had a cool deal, you wanted to share, et cetera. So kind of like private deal club. In some ways, it's like kind of like meeting on Zoom, but cooler. So why not? The other thing that's, nice thing about NFTs or whatever else is you can basically provide a link that verifies your thing. So basically, if you say, I only want people who have a certain NFT to be able to enter my metaverse, that's quite easy to do that. Another very cool thing is that you can have decentralized audio peering, so that basically you can set what the audio streaming service is basically within your metaverse, and then only the people who are in the metaverse can access it, so you basically have like a private, secure chat channel. And that's important for a bunch of things. More, private club stuff. Here's the flying cars I was talking about in Dubai. It's pretty cool. I don't know, I was always very interested, like, how do we model the future of civilization design and see where it's going next? And I don't know. I think maybe it's like easier to do some of these things in the metaverse because you can go faster than if I had to redesign existing traffic system, maybe a little bit slower. Oh, still possible though. And let's see. Oh, here's this like floating pyramid metaverse. I don't know, some people like pyramids, and they're like, hey, let's add some things. You can go inside the pyramids. You have like little secret areas. You can climb around. There's a few different cities basically that have been built in this one already. One has all these like zombies wandering around, like doing stuff. So it's actually cool, like similar. You can build a simulation effectively of anything you want inside of a metaverse as well. So if you want to have animal life or plant life or cars or traffic or whatever else, you can basically build, technical term is a user agent modeling system around it. Cruise around. Do you have like kind of dynamic things, different kind of user experiences? Back on Mars now. I think we'll take a few more like trip around Mars to see whatever else is there. But we have like a few different like docking stations, like I was saying, that people are basically docking their ships once they have them inside of the docking station, and then going around, cruising around the different colonies that I said, are being built right now. And then once you get like past it, you can see, like inside an individual colony. So this is like a pretty cool one, because they have different terrariums. And like I said, we're actually working with some ex-NASA people that are saying this is literally the type of infrastructure you would need, so we can actually model what it takes to teach kids, for example, what life on Mars would be like and the skills they need to learn. We're starting to work, like I said, on the physics side of modeling like acoustics. Another cool thing about this is you can just basically upload it through our web app, so we have the kind of web version of it, and you can just put stuff directly into your metaverse. So that's basically the overall concept. We'll take some kind of like closing thoughts here, because I know we're at the end of the day and we need to kind of move on to the next programming. But I think like one of the greatest things about the metaverse, and it kind of comes into like how to build a metaverse as well, is kind of like unlocking your imagination. And what got me thinking about this originally, because people were asking me to talk about the metaverse like beginning of last year and stuff, and I always said the same thing, you know, metaverse is like kind of about blockchain, and it's kind of about virtual reality, but even more than that, it is about taking the whole world of things that is not seen, that I have a thing in my head, basically an idea in my head. Maybe it's from molecular biology, it's a molecule, maybe it's an imagination, maybe it's a complex feeling, and I want to get it into your head. How am I going to do that? And the more complex the idea, like say it's the Eiffel Tower, but you don't know what the Eiffel Tower is. How am I going to communicate that to you? Am I going to draw it down and give you a piece of paper? Am I going to look it up on the phone, show you a photo? It's actually quite difficult the more complex the idea is to share it with you quickly and easily. And so what we do when we're going into the metaverse, exploring the metaverse, in some ways is actually building a whole new communication mechanism that takes things that can be very complex ideas and then communicating and transmitting them quickly and easily. So, and that's a process as well, and this is kind of what kickstarted some of the things that we're doing with the Wolfram Institute that can be modeled. You can basically take something and say, how easy is it for you to take some chemical structure that's in your mind and then transmit it to someone else so that they can kind of understand what it is and replicate it? It's actually very core to what we often think of as learning or education or classroom. All of these things are basically the same structure. And we now have the ability, through the metaverse, and particularly the technology stuff that we're building, not only to do it so that it's easier, we have the ability to make it fun and potentially highly profitable as well. So I'm just super excited about that, and I hope you are too. Thanks for coming today, and I don't know, find me at Burning Man or wherever else. Thanks.